What's up, YouTube friends, aka party people? Today we're doing our first NAQ, or Nik Answers Questions episode. We have a few questions we're going to answer and maybe play a few riffs too. So, let's get to it. Something like that. I'm sure there are many of you who can do that much better than I can, and I praise you on that. I am still going to attempt to do my best anyway to honor this instrument, guitar. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guitarists out there will agree that this has been the most constant companion you've known in your life. It's probably been there through your first breakup. It's probably been there when you were in high school, maybe, like myself, and felt a little awkward at times and just didn't really know how to be social, but it was okay because you had your bedroom and you had your guitar, and that was way back in some time in the past. I won't divulge. I'm old. Well, kind of. But anyway, on to the topic at hand, which is Nik Answers Questions, or NAQ. Pretty fun concept. I know others have done it, and I hope that anyone who watches this will want to participate. Let's make this a constant thing. Ask me a question, and it can be anything like the following questions. Our first question comes from my dear friend Jeff. He asks, what song hit you so hard that you wanted to pursue it, and what was your first guitar? So I'll answer with the second part of the question first. This guitar is a guitar that my son has now, which is a Epiphone SG Junior. And that guitar is actually really awesome. It had a P90 pickup, just one P90 pickup in the bridge. And it's a little bit smaller scale SG, but for 15 years old, it was sort of the perfect kind of starter guitar. The action was kind of really low on it, so it made it kind of really feel nice to play as opposed to a lot of the acoustic guitars that I had been exposed to at the time. So yeah, that was the first guitar, was Epiphone SG Junior. The song, many of my close friends, if they watch this, will probably laugh at what I'm going to say next. The song that really captured my brain and body and just emotional center towards the idea of being a guitar player was the song Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. And, I mean, come on. Sick. And why was this song so inspirational to me? Well, because that riff, obviously, but as I started to get into the idea of guitar and scales and chords, and trust me, that knowledge grows still every day after 20 plus years of playing guitar, it was the concept of the relationship of minor and major. And I've seen the meme, how Crazy Train starts and it's a big fire skeleton, and then how the rest of the song, and it's a picture of Richard Simmons. Okay, I get it. This is the difference between minor and major. So you have the minor, and then you have the verse riff, which is that back to the minor. So it's a really beautiful, Randy Rhoads did such a beautiful job at mixing both of the elements of a relational key and combining them to give really deep contrast. And to this day, that is why we are still listening to that song and giving it praise. It's just expert songwriting. So anyway, that riff is so cool, and I hope that answers the question, Jeff. Thank you for asking this one. Our second question comes from Paige. Paige asks, how did you begin your life passion for music and why? We'll answer the first part. As I said before, I kind of found that Crazy Train really brought me into guitar, but there had been some influences beforehand, some friends in my neighborhood who were picking up the guitar for the first time and kind of taking a look at it, playing Nirvana songs, and I don't know, I think a lot of you might relate with that feeling of the first time you recreate a song on an instrument live, and it's like a song you've heard for a few hundred times, and there's a magic that starts to happen in that moment, and I think that turns into learning more songs, and then it turns into learning how to make our own songs, and very quickly, you're just sort of lost. And I feel that I always wanted to be a musician on some level, either through singing, but then guitar came into my life, and one opportunity led to the other, and we were playing in bands and opening up for Devin Townsend and Tosin Abasi and his band Reflux, and just having really amazing experiences. So that sustains it, and is a big reason why we got into music and continue to. There's a second part of that question, a comment. There was a page was driven by family to be a musician, their own self, and I have to agree. I have some musical family, and like I said earlier, a lot of friends who play music and are just really amazing musicians and inspire me all the time. So moving on. Okay, so this one, we have a few questions kind of loaded. This is from my buddy Michael. So his first question is, the most bizarre contemporary guitarist. I would say that's probably going to be Matthias Ia Eklund from Free Kitchen. Man, I really want to go to that summer camp. If anyone wants to just send me there, just hit me up, I'd love to go, but it's always a dream of mine to make it over to Sweden. My brother Bradley has been there, has gone to that camp. It's amazing. I've heard a lot of stories, and I don't know. Hey, if any of you have been to that camp and want to share your experience, put it in the comments. Second mention though to Ron Bumblefoot Thal. I'd say they're kind of up there in the really unique guitar player zone. Flow states and improvisation. So mostly what I do is improvisation, and that's probably to a fault. What makes guitar fun for me is that part of the brain that's trying to put the next line into the next one, and some people are really amazing at this, and it's just something that I really aim for. So say if I take find a note, that phrase, what comes after? Right? it's cool to find these lines and to make them happen in real time. And I feel like improv is definitely a stepping stone, and then composition is a big part of that. And my current teacher, Icaro Paiva, and the student group we're a part of, composition and forethought going into a solo is very much stressed in our protocol, and it's a really important part of the solo process. That said, I like to just have fun and let loose as much as I can, and try to guide things in a way that's fun and also unique. My musical influences. This is a great question. Too many to list, but I will give you let's do a top 5 of the people who have made me the most musically driven for guitar. I will say number 1 has to be Zakk Wylde. That started my journey when I was really young. Just some of those ideas that I can't even do them as well as I used to. He's so dialed in. But that kind of started the idea, and then from there we're talking maybe Marty Friedman. I wish that I had Marty's musicality and just approach to guitar. It is so unorthodox, but at the same time still so melodic and perfect. Let's see, who would be a third? Michael Romeo from Symphony X. Just, again, these are people I aspire, I'm influenced by. These aren't people that I say I sound like. I just say these are the people that I look at and just watch them play, and I'm just like, wow, the ease, the technicality. Number 4 is going to be Yngwie Malmsteen, just because I think he's kind of like what spawned people like Michael Romeo. And I mean, oh man, just so many moments that I have been just upset and sad with life, and then I listen to Fire and Ice, and I'm not that anymore. Definitely not that. Probably pretty happy. I mean, I don't have a Ferrari, but whatever I'm driving in that current moment kind of becomes one. If any of you relate with that, please comment below. Let's get to work. Number 5 I'm gonna have to say is Rick Graham. He's sort of like a more recent addition to that list. But let me just tell you right now, I don't know if there's a guitar player out there that is more effective at just about any application, and I don't think I've seen anything that gentleman has played that has been nothing but just raw inspiration, and also a little bit of astonishment, and also a little bit of self-doubt, only because man, to be a guitar player at that level, I would love to have that level of facility and execution. So if you've not heard Rick Graham, please go find him and just listen to everything that he has available. You will not be upset. And after that long spiel, let's go ahead and move on to the next question. How long have you been playing guitar, and when and why did you begin your musical journey? So the musical journey part, I think we've kind of already covered, but I've been playing guitar since about 1999, since the 20th century. So I've been doing this since the 1900s, if you can believe it. And I first started taking lessons with Ward Aycock here in Arizona, who is a graduate of Musicians Institute, and he did the GIT program. A fellow alumni to that program are Paul Gilbert, and he flabbergasted me as a young 15-year-old, and I just wanted to know how to play Crazy Train and Randy Rhoads licks, and I didn't dedicate myself as much as I should have during that time. I then moved on with a teacher named Pete Punkowski. He currently runs Swiss Picks company. At the time when I met him, he had a music store called Hole in the Wall Guitars. Maybe some of you Arizonans might remember that. If you do, comment below, let me know your experience. But Pete is a really great guy. I don't think anybody here in the Arizona scene, maybe even a lot of the LA scene musicians nowadays probably have not, they haven't heard of him. They run directly into his product, the Swiss Picks. Definitely check Swiss Picks out if you have not run into them. Another teacher I've had was Prashant Aswani. I worked with him for about a year, and now I'm working with Icaro Paiva. And if you've not heard him, please find him on Instagram. He has a lot of great music available there, and also on all the streaming services. Okay, moving on to the next question. We have Nazel. Dear brother, have you ever wanted to come to Bangladesh? If you do, the people of this country will give you a lot of love. I'm not opposed to it. Eventually I'd love to be able to take this crazy show on the road. If Bangladesh is one of those places I end up, I certainly won't be upset about that. Next question comes from my brother Dom. Tabo, NAQ. What's your implementation process to add new licks to your improv? Great question. So, as we know in our student group, there's a lot of licks that we have to learn. The integration part comes for me in taking these things from the phrase or whatever's being articulated in that lick and then applying it to a key. So let's take our concept. We have a lesson in our group called the Hira Joshi lick. I'm not going to play that at the speed that it's actually needed. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at what that sounds like. F minor. So, F sharp minor. So for me, I think a lot of us in the guitar world will probably agree. We play a lot of things in E minor because, Metallica. And so when we're looking at E minor and taking that same pattern, what it ends up becoming is and then what's more is like, let's take that same pattern and now let's play just a standard E minor blues pentatonic shape, but with that same pattern. So that's sort of an idea of integration and how we can take rhythms and notes and apply them to more familiar territory that we're kind of more aligned with already in our subconscious. So this is a good way to integrate licks into our playing. And last question here is, and in general, do you learn licks or just mess with intervals? I think it's kind of a mixture of both. I think as a guitar player, we have a responsibility to ourselves to, once we have an understanding of the roadmap via scales that are available to us within a key, it's up to us to explore those intervals and find sounds that are important to our own ears. But, just as I just explained, if we can find licks that then we can also incorporate with that other process of those finding those notes and those patterns that are already intrinsically available to us, we can really just skyrocket as a guitar player, and I really hope that that resonates with anyone out here watching this. Next question has nothing to do with guitar or music. This one comes from Darth Ninjago. What is the Mississippi pot roast recipe? So what you're going to do is you're going to get about 2 pounds, 3 pounds of chuck roast. If you have an Instant Pot, this really helps. This is the way I do it. 2 or 3 pounds of chuck roast, put it in an Instant Pot. Have to edit all of this. 2 or 3 pounds of chuck roast in an Instant Pot with beef broth. About half a can. No, about 9 pepperoncinis. A quarter cup to a half a cup of pepperoni juice. You're gonna saute and fry up each side of the chuck roast, and then eventually put all your ingredients, which will also include, I believe, a ranch packet and au jus. And then you just pressure cook it right up. And I probably have butchered my improv take on the recipe, but if any of you guys out there have had Mississippi pot roast and want to help my friend with a great recipe, please comment below. Okay, well, it has been a fun and informative time. We've gone over Crazy Train and the origins of Nick Clark guitar. We have even discussed Mississippi pot roast and cuisine excellence. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have a question that you'd like me to answer in the next episode of NAQ, Nik Answers Questions, comment below. See you next time.